Pokémon Legends ZA has been out for quite some time, and the general consensus for the speed stat is that it's an underwhelming stat to invest in. However, I'm about to showcase this Hawlucha build that is centered around investment of speed EVs to ensure the fluidity of the rotation. If you're unfamiliar with how the speed stat works in Legends ZA, you can check out this video made by Parasitoid Pod, who conducted extensive testing on the speed stat. Video link in the description. In summary, the speed stat works as follows. Speed correlates linearly with cooldown reduction, which means the higher the speed stat, the more cooldown reduction the Pokémon has. 2. For every 100 speed, each move's cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds. This reduction cannot reduce the cooldown of the moves below 3 seconds. For example, the move Flying Press has a base cooldown of 9 seconds. If Hawlucha has 150 speed, then the cooldown of the move will be 9 minus 4.5 equal to 4.5 seconds. The move Wing Attack has a base cooldown of 6 seconds. So, if Hawlucha has the same speed, even though it should have been 6 minus 4.5 equal to 1.5 seconds, instead the cooldown will be 3 seconds because it can't go lower than that. Movement speed is a separate, hidden stat than speed. Thus, agility does not double the speed stat, but rather doubles the movement speed stat. Now that we know how speed works, let's take a look at this set. Hawlucha runs Sword Stance as a setup move, Flying Press and Close Combat as attacking moves, and Detect as a defensive move. Flying Press and Close Combat has stall and gap closing properties, which is a crucial part of the rotation. The rotation goes as follows. Sword Stance, into Flying Press, into Detect, into Close Combat, and back to Flying Press. It's important to note that during this rotation, the Sword Stance buff lingers throughout the rotation due to the changes made to the move. In previous games, Sword Stance boosts attack by 2 stages, effectively doubling the damage output of the rest of the moves inflicted until the Pokémon is switched out. In Pokémon Legends ZA, however, you can only buff up to 1 stage, and moves that usually buff multiple stages are now changed so that the duration is prolonged. In order to pull off this rotation, Hawlucha needs to have a minimum of 169 speed. If you're using Hawlucha outside of ranked, this can simply be achieved by leveling Hawlucha up, as it is a naturally speedy Pokémon. In ranked, however, the level is set to level 50, and without putting EVs into speed, the rotation will not flow as smoothly. This is Hawlucha with 169 speed. This is Hawlucha with 140 speed. As you can see, the 140 speed one has a break in the rotation. In short, investing in speed can smoothen out rotations and keep up the momentum of attacks. By choosing a specific set of moves that have differing casting times, power, and cooldowns, along with setting a threshold of speed to ensure moves are ready to be cast off cooldown, it can determine whether or not you knock out a Pokémon or get your Pokémon to be knocked out. What are the cons of investing in speed? In ranked, moving and repositioning can make up for the cooldown portion of the moves in a standard manner. The EVs invested in bulk could have made the Pokémon survive that one last attack. All in all, if you catch yourself trying to spam a move that isn't off cooldown, you should try investing in the speed stat still. With proper positioning and pacing, you may pull off the rotation and achieve maximum DPS throughout the battle. If there are potential raids, this set can be fully taken advantage of, as long as another, bulky Pokémon can tank the said raid Pokémon, and the carries, in this case Hawlucha, can freely damage the raid boss Pokémon without worry. In conclusion, the speed stat may be underwhelming and not a priority to a lot of Pokémon, but with the right build and playstyle, the speed investment of some of them may be worth it. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of it, don't forget to like this video, comment what you think of it, and subscribe for more. Gotta bounce!